TurtleWoW has a problem, and it isn't the Blizzard legal issues. In fact, I think even if the Blizzard legal issues were to magically go away, I think that the health of the server is at risk. What do I mean and what am I talking about? Well, I think that TurtleWoW has an identity crisis. Recently, it was just announced that the TurtleWoW devs are going to continue their mission to adjust and make more difficult a lot of the raiding content. This has been received very mixed by most communities, and a lot of people really didn't receive the Molten Core changes well. But despite that, I think they're kind of continuing on with this vision, and this is what I want to talk about regarding TWoW's identity crisis. TurtleWoW has always been an RP PvE server. And although the PvP situation has always been a problem, sometimes non-existent, people were here for the PvE content. But I think that TurtleWoW is increasingly alienating newer players and really starting to do the Blizzard design philosophy of building and designing things for the top 1% of your players. And I think that they're doing this because they're playing in top guilds like Nater is a good example. And they have kind of a skewed design vision of what reality is, or they have people in their ear who might be really high performing players, or maybe their guild is organizing really well, and they're not really taking into consideration, I think, the population as a whole. What was the original vision of TurtleWoW? It's in the name, TurtleWoW. That means slow and steady, enjoying the journey. But furthermore, TurtleWoW used to have a title. It was an RP PvE server. That was what most people came here for. That's what we were recruited into. So what's happening is the people who were recruited into that vision are kind of not getting the vision they were recruited into. And what was originally made as slow and steady and enjoying the journey has become too easy. The content is too easy from the perspective of the developers. Again, is this really bad? I think TurtleWoW is a great server. And because I love TurtleWoW so much, I want to make this video to constructively reflect on really encompassing the entirety of your user base, okay? The entirety of your user base. Now, I say that conversation to say this. Recently, TurtleWoW has released another server, Ambershire. And they did that because Project Epoch was releasing it. They wanted to counteract some of the hype of Project Epoch to maintain their user base. It was kind of a knee-jerk reaction when TurtleWoW had all the cards. They didn't need to succumb to Project Epoch's demands or worry about Project Epoch. They were really like the top dog in the space, but they knee-jerk reacted. They created a new server, and as a result, in the North American raid times, at least for our guild, we used to have 10,000 players on our server, on Nordinar, and we are now at about 3,000 players. So we have less than half of our user base available to us on Nordinar to come into the raids, to go to all these guilds that are raiding, which means we're competing in many cases for the same raiders. So how does that tie into this conversation? A lot of the raids are facilitating and organized towards bringing on the best cream of the crop players. And what that means is your sub communities are kind of being destroyed. Anyone who's progression minded isn't going to want to be with these guilds who are bringing on newer players, who are making mistakes, who are learning. And a lot of the players in our guild are playing TurtleWoW and WoW even in general for the first time in their life. And that is beautiful. I'm really glad they can join in on the fun, the magic of World of Warcraft. But it's unignorable to me that they're being alienated because the content focus is shifting. If these were just optional hard modes that the TWoW devs were doing to their raids, I think it would be okay. I think it would be better, but it's not optional. It's kind of pulling the communities apart at their seams, from the casual, the newer players who are just getting into things. It's making it really hard for them to train and get into it. And it's separating them from the progression-minded players who really like these new changes, right? So I think from a design perspective, The TWoW devs, I encourage you to return to your original vision because some of your users are being alienated. The last part of what I wanted to say is some of these new changes, it's not all changes is bad, right? But some of these new changes, a lot of what kept us intact with the original Classic WoW was some of the original designs. You know, Molten Core was nostalgic to many of us. It was nostalgic, it was enjoyable. And to have them get shifted in vision and to be changed, even a little bit, it kind of butchers that feeling, that essence of nostalgia. I really encourage you developers too, if you make new changes to the raids, making them optional, I think is a really great way to go because it still keeps the nostalgia intact of those Classic WoW raids. We can still enjoy them as they were because I don't want to go enjoy them with Blizzard. I'm done with Blizzard. I'm done with Blizzard. I really am. But those original visions and original ideas, I really love it when those are intact. And it kind of makes me sad in a way to see them get changed and adapted and not be the same in some regards, in some aspects. I enjoyed them. And I'm really worried about what's going to happen to Blackwing Lair even. You know, I really enjoy Blackwing Lair and the way it is now. So, I don't know. Maybe we can just have it be optional. So what we really only have left is the PvE scene. And I'm really worried that with some of these changes, we might be potentially setting the server up for defeat, for not success because of all the different communities in there that are not the top performing communities that will be impacted by this, the pugs that will be impacted by this, the nuanced communities at large that will be impacted by these changes, and what that will do for the PvE scene. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there and talk to the community about it. I wanted to see what you guys think. Really appreciate it. Let me know what you think. Am I wrong? Am I off base on these? Are you enjoying all the new changes? Are you guys in guilds that are actually doing these new changes? Because most guilds that I know of are just doing like Molten Core bindings runs, and that's pretty much it. So let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.